When we recorded the GOATQuest episode on the greatest scandals in sports history, we had no idea that news was going to break about the NBA gambling scandal. So to recap, for those of you who've been living under a rock, the scandal involving NBA players and coaches, led by arrests of Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, Portland Trail Blazers coach Chauncey Billups, and former NBA player Damon Jones. Also connected was the Jonte Porter, former Toronto Raptors player who was excommunicated from the NBA entirely. But we don't think that that's the end of this. It might indeed be the tip of the iceberg. There were poker games that used rigged technology. There are accusations of games being thrown or points being shaved. It's not like this hasn't happened ever before, but at this scale, with these levels of criminal organization activity, and what I mean by that is that the New York crime families, the mafia families, known as the Bonanno family, the Gambino family, and the Genovese family are all part of La Cosa Nostra, historically part of the five families of New York. These are three of them, intertwined into whether it's point shaving or rigging of high-profile poker games. All of this is a very bad look for the NBA. It's a historically bad look for the NBA that has its share of other problems. We talked about who are you going to pass the torch to if LeBron James can't be the face of the NBA? And we thought that Wemby, in his amazing start to this 2025-26 season, might be a part of that. But that's been completely overshadowed now by the malfeasance generated by these three individuals. Chauncey Billups, a great Detroit Piston on the last championship team, the 07-08 era of the Pistons, one of the greatest defensive teams of all times. Mr. Big Shot, Chauncey Billups himself being pulled into this, hits home in Detroit. Of course, he was coaching Portland. And then to have an active player, a really good role player in Terry Rozier, who made $90+ million and was set to make his largest contractual year of earnings ever this year. It's a dire circumstance right now for Adam Silver in the NBA. So we'll see how they respond, but we wanted to interject into this episode, since it happened after the fact, that the NBA gambling scandal and the mafia families involved certainly would have made our Mount Rushmore of the greatest scandals in sports history. In the immortal words of Keith Jackson, whoa, Nelly, let's crack another GOATQuest podcast.
A big Diet Coke.
Yeah, you can't have beer and whiskey every meal.
Not all the time.
What is it about a good bourbon, though, in the end of a day that sets things off into the sunset?
There's nothing wrong with a good bourbon. What's wrong with a good bourbon is one good bourbon turns into about five.
That's it.
That's the problem.
The elevator effect.
That's the problem.
Yeah, you got to keep it on the first floor.
Yeah,
keep
floor.
Bourbon on the first floor.
I'm not a first floor guy.
Maybe the second floor.
Yeah.
But not the third. You get to the third floor,
And
I
you
think
got
you're in
problems.
trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we're talking about today is the business of what is happening with sports. Now, football is where it's more focused than anywhere else. Because it's happening earlier at a younger age in football, with the way that high school and college has now been completely infiltrated, and really the youth injection at the professional level. I mean, the league is getting younger and younger.
Yeah.
And your time in the league is getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
Devastating injuries happening every week. So the amount of money that your agent is going out there and fighting for you
is at an epic level because the game and the viewership and the ratings and the advertising, I mean, it's just desserts. We live in a free market, right? So what elements of it do you think are the most out of whack or most out of alignment with the free market? And what elements do you think are right in tune and a positive momentum for our society and sports?
I don't think there's anything positive for our society.
Nothing that's happening. None of the trends right now.
What's positive about gambling?
Yeah, the gambling has become...
It is. And all the kids, my son's 28, my daughter's 26. They all gamble on games. They may put $5. They might put $3 on, the first person to score in a game.
Yeah.
It's gambling.
It is.
It's gambling.
And it changes you.
And nobody wins. It's impossible to win. You can have a good week. You can have a good month. You will not take money off the casino.
Not long term.
Not
year over year.
No way.
I think I've said this on the show before.
Yeah.
When I started gambling, for all the folks in the NCAA, it was definitely after college, after I was done playing. Definitely. But when I started gambling, I still think I have an outside chance as Division II of getting into some kind of but I can't say. So I went on a run of about 7 years where I had significant winning totals at the end of every season. In the 8th year, I lost all the money that I had made in the previous 7 years back plus some. Total.
The problem is also when you win for 5 years, you don't spend that money like it's money that you work for.
Exactly.
It's different. You do stupid shit. Let's
is
all
a
go to
great
Tennessee.
point.
Let's jump in the airplane. I just won $4,000. Let's go. Stupid stuff. Let's go eat here. Let's go eat there.
That is a great point. When you win money, whether it's at the casino or it's on ball games, you think, oh, this is money meant to spend. Instead of thinking about it like a job where this is money that I could save.
Pay it back, correct.
You don't become a saver. Similarly, when you win money amongst a large group of people who are usually not winning money at the casino or on games, they expect you to pay for everything because you were the big winner.
We're having a steak dinner tonight. Joe's paying. He won $2,000.
Joe won $5,000. Of course, he's paying for everything for the next 2 days.
Correct.
So that piece of the puzzle often gets left out when people are doing their final accounting. I'll give you another piece of the puzzle. When you're gambling, and especially with sports, your attention becomes completely focused on little nuances that generate stress and anxiety during a game.
That you would never
even care about. It wouldn't mean
It wouldn't mean anything. A missed extra point, a
blown call.
The ball's up in the air in the end zone, and they call the penalty on your team.
Right. Something that you would only be concerned about if it was your favorite team that was playing.
Correct.
Becomes an atrocity even when it's C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans, right?
So let's jump back to reality.
That was an Eminem lyric, by the way.
Yeah.
Nice pull.
Back to reality. None of this is going away. More and more kids are going to gamble. More and more adults are going to gamble. More and more gambling's in its infancy. It really is. Besides casinos, sports gambling, they just got licensed. It's going to be indoctrinated into our lives through our kids.
And building on that premise, do you think that ESPN crossed the line in making this universally acceptable when they made ESPN bets part of the ecosystem of viewing every element of sports?
I think it's all tied together. From the TV contracts to how much players are making to the Lamborghinis they drive to the way that they're put up on a pedestal, they can do no wrong in their life, to...
you're bringing in the whole social landscape.
Yeah, but guys are making $250 million a year now.
True.
I mean, not a
That's-
year. Not a year. For
I don't
a
want to,
contract.
but the fair market value is the fair market value.
With the fair, and it keeps going up.
I'm talking
I
about.
just saw that-
I'm
that
talking about
Netflix.
specifically. Let's rein this in though. Specifically, I understand what you're saying. That the social creep of all these things has made everything more acceptable,
And it's totally accepted.
Specifically, gambling though. When ESPN makes the decision that ESPN Bets is going to be part of their platform,
Okay.
this is the viewing platform that most people consume the most sports on.
Okay.
That's now basically saying it's all open to you. Here's an integrated way to bet while you're just a casual viewer.
It's fine.
You're fine with
It's
that.
capitalism. ESPN looked at it and they said we can raise our revenues by another 10% if we open up a betting site, and there's no way to lose.
There is no way to
There's
lose.
no way to lose if you're the bookie.
No, it's an actuarial
It's
dreamboat.
the numbers are already there. You will not win.
So
So
the
why would you not do it if there's 50 other companies out there taking your money and you're the one providing the content?
So just like every other vice in the history of the American cultural landscape, is this going to be another situation where Gamblers Anonymous is
Absolutely.
gonna fill up its ranks over the next 2 decades?
Look at all the work that's out now on how drinking alcohol is so detrimental to your health. There's nothing good about drinking alcohol. Nothing. And that alcohol companies are out there making gazillions of dollars, pouring alcohol into your mouth
Yeah.
and rotting your body.
Yeah.
Same thing as gambling.
I see the benefit. Yeah, and I'm gonna. So my grandfather, may he rest in peace, George Bohr Sr., used to say, "All things, son, all things in moderation." Right, and those are words to live by for anybody. So I do see the benefit from time to time to relax and have a drink. I do see the benefit from time to time to
Put some money on a game.
put a little dough
On the Thanksgiving Day game.
on
and
the
give
Super
you a
Bowl.
little pump, and you care about every little tip pass, and you care about every little last yard. They just
'Cause I'm gonna be there
They
anyway.
had the ball, and
Right.
it was right on the goal line. I can't fucking believe that sucker didn't call that. If you're watching it with your family, sitting home eating, having a coffee, you don't give a fuck.
No, you don't. You don't.
don't.
But if you're ready to raise the ante, and I'm going to be at the game, it's an event
And
atmosphere.
you're an anti-raiser.
I will I will ante up. But I agree with you wholeheartedly that where the page has turned, where the script has flipped, is the inability for people in today's moment in time, in today's culture, to control their vices, to delay gratification, to not want everything at their fingertips right now. And there does have to be some governors of constraint because everybody's distracted. And if the parents are distracted from raising their children appropriately, and then the children are distracted by the devices that they're on, I do think that a strong social fabric puts some guardrails in place.
You don't believe in personal responsibility?
I do believe in personal responsibility.
That's not what you're talking about. You're talking about that the system has got you wrapped up in
Some
their stuff.
guardrails is not systematic control. I'm saying, and when I say guardrails, I mean the National Football League has a guardrail. Can I give you a guardrail?
What's the guardrail in gambling?
You can't bet. You can't bet. You're a football player. You can't bet on the games. That's a guardrail. So Jamison Williams
Yeah.
had to sit out, got suspended because he was gambling on the premises, right, of an NFL. Right, you can't be a part of an NFL program.
understand that.
Right, doesn't matter. It's
That's
smoking
completely
weed,
different.
all the rest
I'm
of it.
talking about for the masses.
So the National Football League has put that guardrail into place. I would have liked to have seen ESPN, and quite frankly, I would have liked to have seen all media outlets. If you're a media outlet, you shouldn't be able to market to my impressionable preteen adolescent that they can log into this app, lie about this and this, and attach a credit card to it.
Let's just look at Michigan. Okay, you got Bet Rivers. Who does Bet Rivers grab? Herman Moore to do their marketing.
I love Herman Moore.
Yeah, so do I. He's a great guy.
Great guy.
But he's a super guy.
Just saw him again at Legacy Center out in Brighton, Michigan.
Dude, he's down to earth. He's a fucking great guy.
Beautiful wife, very great. What a great family. Herman Moore is like who you want to be if you're an NFL guy
But my example is, what do they use? So they're already using the athletes that played the sport to market their gambling. So is that a whole lot different than ESPN? If you're a gambling company, you can't use an athlete to market?
No. I'm fine with athletes supporting the gaming industry. I'm fine with the commercialization of gambling. I don't know if it should be part of our media platforms that are the broadcasters of the game.
Yeah, you got to
I'm trying to thread a needle. I realize that. And I know it's a little bit of dodgy, it's going to be there. They're going to find a way to be there. But like, for instance, there are states that do not let attorneys who are tort lawyers, right? Personal injury lawyers. There are states where they can't be on TV, right? They can't market that. There are rules to the way that you market drugs, pharmaceuticals.
What states are those?
There are jurisdictions where certain things can't be marketed certain ways. Okay. There were much more rigorous laws in the past. They've actually freed up a lot of these. But there are things that the masses, I hate to, again, I'm going against your personal responsibility thing here. The masses are just not educated on. So if you make a commercial that says, hey, you got to talk to your doctor about Farxiga and this drug and that drug is going to cure you, right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to, and you're not supposed to be able to say those things because now you're going to go to your doctor, you're going to demand this drug, you're going to put the doctor in a weird situation because there may be no medical necessity for this drug to be prescribed. Similarly, you're going to call, they're going to file a bunch of lawsuits because the personal injury lawyer, Sam Bernstein told me that I was wrong.
Yeah,
and Michael Morse told me that I was this.
Yeah, but just because that doctor was able to market to that person doesn't mean that person's not already going to do that anyway.
It's true. And what I'm saying,
but you're saying it makes it easier for them to justify what they're doing. Or?
No, I'm saying that you put guardrails into place so that there has to be truth in marketing, and it has to be held to a very high level of recruiting and marketing.
How many times have gone by Gardner White and they say 50% off? Every day they have a 50% off sale at Gardner White, 365 days a year. You want to know why they do that? Because people are fucking stupid.
But that is not
50% off all year,
a piece
every day.
Of furniture, though.
Still spending money.
Is not going to potentially bankrupt the American economy the way that healthcare is.
Give you that.
Right?
That's a good point.
Okay. And it's not a vice. It's not something that's addictive. Like, there is proof.
Shopping's addictive.
Okay, so maybe there are shopaholics out there.
Maybe?
I don't think that they have proven that the mental framework of a shopper is so engorged by shopping.
I think you're wrong.
Well, I might be. I'd like to see these studies.
As a gambler that thinks they're going to win and they keep... I get you. The only thing that I do...
You're making a good point. I'm not gonna back off that there's validity to this shopping thing.
The only thing that I do like about gambling, thank God they don't do it like a regular bookie. Meaning, you don't have to put up the cash. So all these new gambling sites, you got to put up the cash first.
It's a bank account.
God, it's a bank account.
Yeah, it's not your credit card.
Exactly, or or you got a $10,000 limit. Go ahead, and then we'll come after you if you don't pay.
If they change the law and allow people to put their credit cards on these things, it's over.
Oh, it's over.
It's over. We will be a bankrupt.
They won't
nation.
even let you use a debit card.
Now I know.
Yeah,
it's got to be the account.
Got to be the account.
Which is responsible.
Which is good.
Because that's real money.
Which is good.
It's just like the casino.
I mean, my debit card's never been turned down. I wouldn't know. But I don't think they accept debit cards.
They don't. You got to attach a bank account to these things, thankfully. Yeah. But that's the whole premise of this. The premise is, whether it's pornography or it's alcohol or it's drugs or it's all of these things that can be addictive, that are costing our whole country, the taxpayers, massive amounts of money and treatment programs and everything else. You put a governor in place because you're trying to help your constituency. But help and enablement, there's a fine line, right? So I know what you're saying. The personal responsibility's got to pick up somewhere. You can't be an enabler of people.
Yeah.
Right? That's where our government goes wrong the other way.
Yeah.
Right? We're trying to enable people. We're trying to be a nanny state. We're trying to kitty glove everything. No. There has to be personal responsibility, and there has to also be sensible guardrails.
You know, the sad thing is, I think a gambling addiction is like alcohol. It's a disease. And if you don't have it, you'll never understand it. But if you've been around alcoholics or you've got alcoholic tendencies, you look at it in a much different way. You realize that it's not a choice. That's what's scary about gambling. I think gambling, obviously, there's a lot of people that become addicted to gambling, steal all their family's money, take all the credit cards of their kids, pull out the money, put it in so they can gamble, and they've got an addiction. It's really not a choice. A disease is not a choice. A disease.
No, you make bad choices.
You make bad choices
to put yourself into the disease.
Correct. But it's such an overpowering thing that you can't stop it by yourself normally. You've got to get help.
Yeah.
But back to gambling. In gambling, I think gambling addicts are very similar.
Okay, so now let's slippery slope it, all right? Fantasy football. Fantasy sports in general. Started out with fantasy baseball. Rotisserie baseball is where it all started. It's where I started, and it was a hell of a lot of fun in the early days. Baseball got too much for me. There's too many games. You got to follow it too closely.
Yeah.
Football, I've only got to do it once a week. It's a much more maintainable experience, fantasy football. You're not a fantasy football player.
I used to be forever, and then I had 3 teams, and then I couldn't remember who I had, and I started missing bye weeks, and I was screwing up the league, and I said, just take me off all this shit. No, guys are getting pissed. They're like, God damn it, you're playing Jim, and you got to beat them, and you didn't play 2 guys, and they weren't even, you had 2 open spots, right?
I love the fact that Tom Beer, the NFL football player, was screwing up the fantasy leagues.
I was.
That's a nice.
I was.
That's a nice theme.
I
for
just
us
don't
to
want to
begin
pay
with.
attention that much.
Did you feel like fantasy football when you were playing it, also because it being that first step,
no question,
played into gambling?
No question.
Now the sites
Hold on.
allow both.
When I played, I had side bets with everybody, $50 to $100 a week. It was gambling.
So you were betting you were betting on your fantasy team,
Absolutely,
and betting on the game.
Absolutely.
You're going to beat their ass.
And at the end of the year, you'd have to pay, or one guy you'd owe $300-$400 to, you'd collect from another guy.
The worst moments for me in fantasy football is when I need a guy to do well against the Lions.
Oh yeah,
that kills me, right?
Yeah.
I got my team, and I need my guy to do really well against my team.
My worst bet in football is taking the Lions, then taking the over/under. I don't like that.
Playing the 2-way with the Lions.
Yeah, because it's horrible. Right, because you don't want him to score, but you need him to score. You got the over.
You put yourself in a moral quandary.
I do not like doing over-unders. I'd never bet them.
No,
ever.
I know. It gets dicey. I look at fantasy football as a get-together, right? It gets a bunch of guys together. The draft is obviously the quintessential moment of fun. And then you got stuff to mess with people about, because the studies have shown friendships are the strongest when you fuck with each other, right? When guys,
no. If I'm not making fun of you or calling you an asshole,
then you're irrelevant.
Not my friend.
You're just irrelevant,
Yeah.
right? So
Johnny, you're an asshole.
The message, the back and forth between a fraternal order of guys is an essential quality to friendship.
Yeah,
and that happens at a high level.
And girls don't get that. I don't know why they don't pick that up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's probably, if you think about it,
like when I walk in and say, "Where's my food?" and she doesn't like that.
No. That is a loser. That is a dead on arrival.
Am I missing something?
Yes, you're definitely missing something. You got me too'd right off the podcast already.
Yeah,
they've already checked the box.
Yeah, you better take that.
You got a pink slip in your mailbox.
Your wife's taking that right
that's
off.
That Tom Beer, he's out. He's off the wedding list. Yeah. So in this model, but I think you're right. The two sexes, obviously there's a ton of physical differences when it comes to social dynamics. Mm-hmm. Guys mess with each other, women don't.
Yeah.
They don't pick at each other. They don't. Could you imagine? I think it would get ugly really fast if the fingernails would come out if women said the kinds of things that Gary Rattan and Dino Candela and you and I say to each other on a regular basis on text threads.
Oh my God, we call each other fat, you crooked teeth, you got a fucked up
nose. You this.
Let's shut up, toothless. I mean, it's just, it
You
never.
did this with this person.
Yeah. Remember that time that girl over there?
You did. There's all kinds of reasons that are entertaining, quite frankly.
Maybe we should be more like women.
No.
No,
this is
just Joe. You look great today.
I'm not gonna.
I mean, you got a
first of all,
vibe
that's weird, right?
But no, you got a wwonderful
and
vibe
you're
about
suspect
you
already.
Oh, you got a wonderful vibe.
Yeah, I do.
Today.
I put off an aura. I know
you do.
it's pure machismo.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
No, I can't. Paying you more than one compliment in a month would set me sour.
Yeah, that wouldn't be any. No, it wouldn't even be fun.
What would you?
I don't know. I have never heard of.
First of all,
actually, the only compliment.
Wearing a compliment from another guy, wearing it is it's like a scratchy sweater. You just want to get it off of you.
When we were in college, Joe never gave me one compliment
Ever.
Hold on, you did though.
What?
And I heard you from the sideline. We were playing against Ferris State, and they had the best linebacker in our division by far, Monty Brown.
Played for the Buffalo Bills.
Played for the Buffalo Bills. And he was in the WWE, I think.
Oh, yeah. He had another career.
But anyway, he was a great college linebacker.
Chiseled out of granite.
Yeah, and I'm on the sideline, and I can hear Joe's voice. He gets this high pitch. And he's screaming at Monty Brown saying, Tom Beer's the best linebacker in the GLIAC. And he said it like 4 times. Tom Beer's the best linebacker in the GLIAC. And the guy wasn't even looking at you.
It's because
he didn't even acknowledge
and
you.
it's because he was quoted several times saying, my goal is, I know I'm the best linebacker in the GLIAC. This year, I want to be the best linebacker in the country. He said that.
He said that.
He said, yeah. He had it.
Then you had to
he
say,
had a quote, so I had to jam it back up.
I didn't know that.
I had to, put it where the sun don't shine for him. Yeah. So I'm against.
My only compliment.
You can I'm going to compliment you right now, and that is that you've stayed out of gambling and fantasy football to a degree because you've realized, rightly so, that it's a road to nowhere. No one wins in this game, right? So detaching yourself from fantasy football and detaching yourself from every week gambling.
It's the Bobby Knight thing. How do you punish a player?
Ass to bench.
Ass to bench. Ass sits on bench.
Send signal to mind.
Send signal to mind.
To brain, yeah.
The brain says, look in your bank account. It's got a couple grand less than it had last week. And that don't feel good.
It doesn't feel good.
No.
Explaining
so it goes
to your
back
significant
to my
other.
brain and takes my phone and says, delete that fucking app off your fucking phone. That's what I do.
And that is the compliment that I pay you. The responsibility that a former degenerate gambler has seen the light.
I don't think I was ever maybe.
I'm admitting that one year I went into the level of degenerate. When that 7-year run, that 8th year, I was a degenerate. I sold my car.
To gamble?
To pay my debt. I sold a car in my 20s to pay a debt. Wow. So I too am of the ilk of reformed degenerate gamblers. Hey, I mean, I agree with you. It's an addiction.
Oh.
And if you don't
it's fun.
If you don't get
fun.
If you don't get 2 hands on the wheel, and if you don't learn to bring things back into moderation, and if you are the kind of person that has trouble with moderation, then you got to go cold turkey. You got to get out of it completely.
Yep.
You have to find a way.
Yep.
So we're moving on in subject matter now. The basketball season, again, we're at that time of year where all the sports are playing. The NHL is live. The NBA is now live. We just had the first NBA games. We saw Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. And OKC, the defending champs, and then of course the Thunder, the Oklahoma City Thunder played the Houston Rockets.
Yep.
Right. So the Lakers versus the Golden State Warriors. Warriors win, and the OKC Thunder beat the Houston Rockets with Kevin Durant
Yep.
on the Rockets now.
By 1 point.
Underwhelming performance, I think.
Yeah.
Sengun, is that how you pronounce his name? Sengun.
Yeah.
He had a very nice game, but Durant and Amen Thompson to 0 for 7 from 3, inconsistent. So we'll see if this Kevin Durant thing works in Houston.
Dude, Durant's getting old. Dude, when you you get into your 30s, I remember when I hit my 30s, I used to be able to dunk. And I think I was like 31, 32, where it wasn't an option anymore. Low 30s for me.
Yeah.
I was out of football and out of shape. And
I'm pretty sure Durant can still dunk. He's about 7
I think he
foot.
can still dunk, but he can't make a three. Can't shoot.
So Durant moves over to Houston. LeBron is hurt, maybe never plays again. I mean, who knows, right? Who knows how he recovers?
Yeah,
and
43?
1, 2, 3, whatever.
Yeah,
him and Aaron Rodgers can hang out on ayahuasca.
Yeah.
But there's a changing of the guard
Yeah.
in the NBA. And in this case, where a torch has been passed, like it was passed to LeBron, I don't see anybody grabbing the torch. Who's he passing it to?
If you look around, I mean, it's awfully early. Last night was the first, but Nikolai Jokic, right? I mean, he plays for the Nuggets. He's been around though. That's not really passing the torch.
He's been around, and he's not a charismatic end to end, right? A big man. We talked about this with Will Chamberlain. It's why Will Chamberlain gets short shrifted in statistical analysis against Michael Jordan and some of the other ones, because Will Chamberlain was a big man. Big men are never going to get considered the same because they don't posterize people.
Yeah.
Right. They don't fly through the air and go end to end. They don't play 94 feet of hell. So at the end of the day, if you're looking at the NBA landscape and who's the face of the NBA?
Shai Alexander. I think that would be the best. I mean, because the other guys are white. You got Jokic.
Oh, what's wrong with the white guy?
You got Luka
Doncic.
Luka Doncic. They're white.
Don't start playing the white men can't jump card.
No, just they're white.
Luka Doncic is a possibility.
I mean, there are a few guys that can play with. Giannis is another one for the Bucks.
Try to pronounce his last name. Giannis' last name. The Greek freak.
You try to pronounce it.
Antetokounmpo? Is that how you say it?
No.
Okay. Well,
But you're close.
I'm not sure.
I think it is. I have Antetokounmpo. I was going to say that. And you just said that. I can't
say it either.
I know.
I can't say it either. Donovan Mitchell for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, maybe. He's one of them. But none of those guys.
Jalen Brunson for the Knicks.
But no one's got what LeBron had. He was 6'8", 6'9", could fly down, could dunk on anybody. I mean, is he Michael Jordan? In my mind, no.
Can it be Jason Tatum? Can it be?
It could be Jason Tatum or the other
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown. They both play for
Boston.
For Boston, maybe. I mean,
Boston lost Porzingis. They've got White, obviously. So they've still got 3 with White, Tatum, and Brown.
I mean,
so Boston will be back in the mix.
The only guy that I can see that would stick out like LeBron is Shai Alexander.
You think Alexander? I don't. I like him. I like him as a player. I think Alexander will.
Maybe Jaylen Brown. Maybe.
I think Alexander will rise to like a George Gervin type status, kind of like the Iceman.
Which is wonderful.
I don't think he's going to rise to a LeBron, Jordan, Steph Curry. I mean, Steph Curry's at the end of his road.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant is at the end of his road. I don't know who it is. I don't know who's next.
I don't think any of us do. I mean, if I look at all those players, none of those stick out to me like LeBron. I mean, look at even Michael Jordan when he came out. He became a completely different player when he got to the NBA. So maybe it's somebody that's in college right now. And I can't even think of somebody that's that good, that's that big, that's that fast, that's that dominant, that's in college right now.
I do think Doncic,
He's getting old, though. Shit, he's 30.
But I do think that he has got a big year left in him. If LeBron can come back and they can surround it, I think Doncic has a big year left in him. If he dedicated himself on the offseason, like some people say he did, to getting in better shape, to play defensively with more aggression, I do think Doncic has a big year in him. I think Donovan Mitchell's a fantastic player. He's got to come up big in crunch time this year, though, because this is it. This is I don't know if you read these lists.
Have you watched his game, though? All he does is come up big in crunch time.
But the team doesn't. The team has not converted.
He has, but I'm saying.
I'm not knocking Mitchell's individual performances in big games, but the team has not risen up with him in these big games, and this is the year. Cleveland's roster, with the way the salary cap works and the way the contracts are coming, like they got to do it this year. That's the
I think the Pistons are going to be tough.
I do too.
I think the Pistons are just going to be tough. I don't think they're going to be the best team in their division, but I think they'll be a top 2 team and they'll make the playoffs. And I think that maybe they'll get to the second round.
Didn't this past year's performance against the Knicks?
Yeah,
that gritty performance where they just got where Brunson just put the dagger in and twisted it. It reminded me of when Larry Bird did that to the Isaiah Thomas-led Pistons. Remember the year where he made the big steal, dish, the Dennis Johnson layup, and they just
that was like 87.
Yeah, they didn't get that. This year felt like that, which means if you double down, reinvest yourself. I think Bickerstaff's a great coach. I think Cade Cunningham is right there. He doesn't quite have that killer edge yet, but I think the killer edge might come from brutal defeat that they just took.
When you need a bucket, he's pretty tough. I'd say he's top 5 in the NBA.
He's calm as a cucumber.
Yeah, calm as a cucumber, and he's tough. When you need a bucket and you need it to score, he's who you give the ball to.
I love this team defensively.
Yeah,
I love the way they get after it.
On the length. Yeah, they got a lot of length.
They'll run 5 guys off the bench. They'll run 5 guys off the bench at you that look like the 5 guys who came off, other than Cunningham.
Yeah,
we'll see how this mixes up with the shooting of the Pistons, because they do need a 3-point threat that's always on, that always gives you a chance.
Everybody shoots 3-pointers now.
At a decent percentage.
Make them. You need someone to make them.
Yeah, you can't have Amen Thompson last night going 0 for 7.
Do you remember the days?
Wait a second. This guy went 0 for 7. Now, we have his twin brother, Asar Thompson. We have the other Thompson brother. Yeah. This guy went 0 for 7 in the NBA from 3. Think about that. In your wildest dream as a basketball player,
would I shoot 7 times?
If you missed the first 5, 3, I don't care if I'm the number 1 guy in the lineup. I'm the first man out the door. I
missed 5 in a row. I say, Joe, don't pass me the fucking ball.
Shut me down.
I'm done. I don't care if I'm. Don't.
Right? I'll take it to the rack. I'll go for a layup. I'll try to do other things. Yeah. But if I've shot 5 threes and haven't made one, how does he think he should take the next 2?
Well, it's just a different game. They pop threes. If you're open, you shoot. Have you ever seen a guy there are still some big men that will not shoot. There's not many of them. But because most of the big men
Your name has to be Steph Curry for you to go 0 for 7 from 3 and keep shooting, maybe. In my mind.
Maybe, yeah.
You got to be one of the league's all-time great shooters to go 0 for 7 and keep shooting. To go 0 for 5 and keep shooting.
Keep pumping.
Unreal. So in this mix, right, if we're looking at the NBA's mix of teams that are going to fight for this thing, who comes out of the East? I know we both like the Pistons, but who comes out of the East this year?
Pistons.
The Pistons.
That's it. I think they're just going to be good.
I want to say it's Cleveland, but I do think it's going to be.
Cleveland's in there too.
I do think it's going to be the Cavaliers and the Pistons, the final 2 out of the East.
Yeah.
Who comes out of the West?
Well, it depends on if LeBron comes back, but he's getting old.
You think that even if LeBron came back and played great, you think he can get past OKC?
No.
You think he can get past the Nuggets?
No, OKC's got too many good role players too. It's not just their main player. They've got a couple good forwards.
Houston's going to be there. I think Phoenix will be much better than last year. I think they'll figure it out in Phoenix.
I would say OKC right now, just because it's so early. They've had 1 game.
The one that worries me most coming out of the West is the Minnesota team. I do think that that's another up-and-coming franchise. I think they're very balanced. I'd be worried about Minnesota. I think they've got enough length, enough defense with Gobert to be trouble for anybody.
Yeah.
But I do think this is the last gasp for Golden State. This is Steph Curry, Draymond Green. Now, I know they got Kuminga, and they've got some new blood in the lineup. Buddy Hield coming off the bench. I think he had another 17 points. He can shoot the tray. So there's some good pieces in Golden State surrounding them, but I think this is it.
I mean, I still really like Boston.
That's the East.
I know it's in the East, but I still really like Boston. Those two of the, Jaylen Brown and Tatum, they're just tough. I think actually Brown is better than Tatum. I think. Speaking
of the former home of Luka Doncic in Dallas, does Cooper Flag make a big enough difference to get them in the playoffs?
Not yet. No,
they're not in the conversation yet.
No, do I think he's a good player? Yeah. In the NBA,
him and the unibrow on the front line. I don't know.
Too early to tell.
Yeah,
I haven't even seen him play yet. They just had their first. I know they just had the first games.
Jason Kidd on the bench, pulling the numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. Orlando. A lot of people keep picking Orlando as an up and comer. We'll see. They got a good young lineup. When I look at the landscape, I think it's Cleveland and the Pistons in the East. I do think that Boston takes a step backwards. And I like Golden State and OKC.
Because they lost Porzingis or whatever?
Yeah, I think Porzingis is going to hurt them, that him leaving. And I do think that this whole ownership shakeup and them, not getting where they wanted to get last year, I don't think the teams stay at that peak level anymore. The way that the dynasty building.
The funny thing is about a team, because you were on them in college and high school. You have no idea what the inner workings are of what really happens. Who's really pissed off because they're not paid? Who was really pissed off because they feel like they got fucked in their contract?
Right, that they let so-and-so who was a favorite
get
away.
Who's not playing enough time that they think they should be, or who's playing too much? You can't even believe all the shit that coaches didn't even have to think about 40 years ago that go into coaching an NBA team now, especially the NBA where the money's guaranteed.
Yeah.
All the money's guaranteed. You get caught, it's guaranteed.
And it doesn't matter if you're the 12th man on the bench, you're making millions.
You're making $70 million a year, or whatever it is.
It's an insane amount of money in the NBA.
It's crazy.
We gave a quick rundown on the NBA. We're going to save college basketball for a future episode when it gets up and running. But if we're kind of looking at we started this whole thing out by talking about NIL. We're talking about fantasy. We're talking about sports from a gambling standpoint. Gambling has been pervasive for a long time. Mm-hmm. And it's as old as anything in the United States from an industry standpoint.
Arnold Rothstein fixing the World Series.
So let's get into it.
Yeah.
If we're building out a GOAT list of the greatest scandals in sports history, how many of them are gambling related?
Not that many.
Pete Rose,
we've got that. But I don't know if that was really a scandal.
Oh, it was a big scandal.
It was a scandal,
FBI investigation.
Yeah, it was. But
it's a manager of a Major League Baseball team.
Yeah, but fixing the World Series.
Arnold Rothstein pulled the event of events.
Yeah, it was the
1919 Black Sox.
Led by first baseman. His name was Chick Gandil.
Yeah, Gandil. And Eddie Seacott, the pitcher, was involved.
Shoeless Joe Jackson was involved.
Well, Shoeless Joe Jackson was said to be involved, but he batted like .348, didn't have a single error. He did nothing in the series. The concept that Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis, the judge who presided over the Black Sox scandal, was put forth was that he accepted the money. Now, he says they slid the money under his door. He took money that he had no idea what it was for and then played great and gave no one any sign that he was a part of the scandal. But obviously there was a scandal. They bought, the damn series went 7 games.
Yeah.
It was so what, they threw the 7th game and Seacott gets the most blame for that as the pitcher that somehow couldn't throw strikes when it counted most, even though he was like a 28 game winner or whatever that year.
Yeah.
So certainly the Black Sox, Arnold Rothstein, and the La Cosa Nostra mobsters involved in that.
For me, it was the Lance Armstrong doping scandal. That was the number one thing for me because I lived it.
Right. So drugs, And gambling.
PEDs and EPO. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Blood transfusions, testosterone, and for me, I remember watching it and watching Lance Armstrong
So tell me what you think was so bad about what Lance Armstrong did.
that he lied.
So it's the cover up.
It's the cover up. Yeah. I mean, now everybody takes testosterone. High school kids are taking testosterone now.
So he should have
EPOs and all.
So he
kinds
should
of
have come out and said, "Hey, man, I had cancer. I was doing whatever I could to get back in the game."
I don't know. I mean, the cancer got thrown into it, but he knew what he was doing.
Oh, sure.
He
I mean,
knew
this was
that
an elaborate.
He knew that it made him 10 times better than he would have ever been without it.
It was straight doping,
It was
right?
straight doping, EPOs and testosterone, and it was a way of life for them, for the whole team. He made the whole team do it.
Oh, so he wanted.
He made the team.
Misery loves company.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
And then he went on Oprah and said, "Yeah, I doped. Sorry, I lost my mind. I thought it was the only way I could get out of it was to deny it completely, but I doped." Well, now you're fucked.
So
I still can't believe he didn't go to jail.
Have you ever spoken to anybody who's done this to their body?
What?
That's done this kind of blood
The
doping.
EPO? No.
This kind of because it's almost like a biochemical engineering of the body.
I mean, I think it's
Because you're
pumping your blood full of oxygen,
Right, what-
more oxygen than you would ever have in your blood.
Exactly.
Right.
So you're having the best blood.
Just
right.
you're like this on your bike.
Right. You're in super vampire mode.
Yeah.
Right, with the best blood for performance.
Well, remember those little mini thins we used to take?
Well, that's the blood vessels.
Those little mini thins. We used to buy them at a little gas
That's
station.
fast flow. That's increasing blood flow.
It was Livernois and
That's the effect of any amphetamine, though.
but
increasing blood flow.
those things worked. Those things. Remember, I had snot just running down my nose, and I'd take like 3 or 4.
So
but the problem
Scott
is,
Schulte, right, who the All-American from Hillsdale, who got caught by you from behind on a 20-yard
without
lead.
those pills,
That was a mini thin catch.
That was a mini thin that I bought at Livernois in Warren.
There you go.
There you go.
Shout out to West
That
Side.
little dirty gas station. at
West
Livernois in Warren.
Side. So Livernois gets a shout out, and Lance Armstrong gets a shout out in the same conversation. That's a hell of a pair.
Yeah. The thing I remember watching it, and the most amazing thing was to me was his almost aggressive denial.
Yeah.
Like, who in the fuck do you think you are saying that I take drugs?
Yeah, I'm a
Are
cancer
you
survivor.
nuts? Look
Yeah.
at me. I had
Yeah,
cancer.
he did put himself on the poster, put himself on the cross.
And then
Woe is
he had
me.
all the people, all the girlfriends of all the other bikers involved. And
Yep.
it was just a
So that's
shit
what it
show.
is for you.
That
it
was my
the,
number one.
It was the
because I lived it.
orchestration of the denial.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you come out on baseball with the steroid scandal? I almost think I'm going to give you a take.
I mean, we got everybody. We got A-Rod. We got Barry Bonds. We got Mark McGuire. We got Jose Canseco.
Sammy
We
Sosa.
got
Roger
Roger Clemens. We got
Andy
Sammy Sosa.
Pettit.
Then after that, remember they had that
Rafael
Balco.
Palmeiro.
Yeah, remember they had that Balco deal, and that's where they were getting the drugs
Oh, it's
from.
all the Giants.
Right.
That's Sheffield.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But Joe,
what about the guys in that group
Joe,
that didn't do
if
it?
you can make $20 million a year and change your family's life, is it worth it?
I don't think any of those guys are arguing that they would have that they were doing what
They'd still do
what
it.
they thought they had to
They
do to
still
keep their
do it.
career.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And at the time, remember, professional athletes at a certain level are entertainers. This is an entertainment venue.
So I've got the best stat. I've never told you this. So back in the early 80s, they had 500 people that were in the Olympics. And they said, if you were guaranteed to win a gold medal, but you died 90 days after your gold medal, you're dead in the ground, would you take steroids? Like 75% said yes.
75%
Yep.
would be dead within 90 days of their gold medal and
Yep.
said that that's the mindset that these amateur athletes were in. That says a lot about the immaturity of the amateur
Dude,
athlete.
I used to say that to myself when I ran down on kickoffs in NFL. I said, I need to play today like I'm willing to die.
Oh, yeah.
I used to play. I really used to say that to myself. I need to run down on this kickoff like I'm willing to die.
I know.
You know,
You do get programmed. This sport, the sport of football, like no other, puts you so close to mortal combat that you do start to think and feel that you're in a war zone.
yeah.
Everything, including your life, needs to be put on the line.
Or to, Spielman said this to me one time. He goes, the way I play is, what would you do if you saw someone slap your mother? That rage that you have in your brain right now is the rage that you play football with.
Yeah. And it's
And fuck everybody. You don't care about anybody else but making the tackle and knocking their head off.
And it's
That's it.
And the great ones have the ability to flip that switch
Sure.
and then hopefully be able to turn it off within a couple hours of the
Yeah.
game before they have to relate to the rest of human society.
Yeah.
And when you flip that switch too many times and you end up with no gas in the tank, you got to find alternative ways to put gas back in the tank.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of this starts, right? I got an injury. I got to rehab this injury. The fastest way to rehab this injury is Winstrol V, right? Or Anadrol, right? The best way for me to unwind after this game is to smoke a joint.
Yeah.
The best way for me to get hype before I go into this situation is to take some amphetamines of some kind. So every one of these crutches or stilts that helps someone get to the next level is usually a performance-enhancing drug that's illegal.
And what's sad about the next level, and there's really no good way to do it, but you literally go from being a professional football player in 30 seconds after they tell you you're cut, you're nobody. You're nobody. You're no longer a professional football player. You've been a football player your whole life. And it's the same as college, right?
Yep.
You played 4 years of junior, 4 years of high school, 4 years of this, and all of a sudden, done. You're done. You're never playing football again in your life. Now you got to learn how everything about you was a football player. All the food that your mom prepared, all the food that she brought you, all the planning all week that your parents did was for you as a football player.
Yeah.
Now you're fucking nobody.
Yeah. Live your life as a normal Joe,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's tough for a lot of people to take. So they want to stay in as
it's
long as they
hard.
possibly can.
No, it's hard, and a lot of guys struggle. I struggled. I probably struggled for 6 months, and then you slowly figure it out. You get to work, and you apply yourself.
The National Football League has really never seen a steroid scandal. There were a lot of people taking steroids.
In the late
Alzado and
in
the
80s
Raiders
and early
teams.
90s, when I played,
Tony Mandrich.
when I played,
That was a bit of a scandal.
we always had suspicions, maybe on a couple people, but nope, you couldn't take them. You come in from practice, and there was a little sticker in your locker, and you had 5 minutes to go in the bathroom, pull your pants down to your ankles and your shirt up over your head, and they had an FBI agent that came in and tested us. So I'm sure there was some people that made enough money to figure out a drug or something that wasn't being tested, but it wasn't me.
Right. You think about, like, if you went back in time, we talked about this on one of the podcasts about Connie Hawkins. Connie Hawkins got barred. It was a huge scandal, massive scandal that almost took down the NBA and college basketball, where some gamblers and some miscreants, convinced him to take some money for like helping them, like almost as like a valet, like helping them load a car or drive a car somewhere. And because he took that money, he made himself ineligible in college, and then he became a pariah in the NBA. So the NBA teams didn't want to draft him. You think about how minor it is for him to have taken a few bucks to do an actual job for somebody.
Yeah.
Right? That he got paid for, that he had no idea that they were paying him because he was a great college basketball player. And then he gets barred from the sport and loses a bunch of income, had to go to the Harlem Globetrotters, ends up still having a great NBA career later in his career, but he lost huge years of his prime. And a lot of people had to go through that back in the day. So when you think about from the Connie Hawkins scandal to where we're at today, most of that stuff would have been legal.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff that a lot of these guys got in trouble for would be legal today. Now you got the Pete Rose situation, you got the Black Sox situation, and you got baseball. To me, Barry Bonds is the greatest hitter that I've ever seen. And I don't think he's ever going to get in the Hall of Fame. I don't think that these writers, maybe when he's dead, they'll say, okay, Now that he's not alive, we'll put him in.
Did you ever see pictures of Tiger Woods when he was 18 and then when he was 25?
Yeah. And no scandal there.
How many guys get that much bigger between 18 and 25?
Zero.
Not without drugs.
There's some engineering.
No question.
And there's
Did you see Barry Bonds when he was a rookie? And then you see Barry Bonds at his peak.
And some
Looked like a bodybuilder.
And some of these guys were doing human growth hormone, and they were doing things.
No question.
And they were doing them before they were illegal. So the law was changing year by year.
They didn't care.
They were coming out with new drugs.
They didn't care. I guarantee if you sat around and had a beer with Mark McGuire and said, if you could go back, would you change it? He'd say, hell no.
Well, I remember people debating about...
Hell no.
Yeah, and I remember people debating about Sheffield because he had a cup of coffee in Detroit. Gary Sheffield was on record saying, we rubbed this lotion on, right? Now, I believe that because I do believe that as an athlete, if it was something that I could rub into my skin, my athletic trainer was telling me to do it, and this is going to be great for reparation, for you to heal the soreness. Because you rub remember like Vicks Vapor Rub? To me, that could easily be misconstrued. What Sheffield is saying is, no one ever told me what you're rubbing into your skin is a steroid. I thought it was a muscle rub for muscle reparation, just like anything. So I can buy that one. Because athletes are not always the brightest bulbs in the shed anyway. This isn't the mathematicians club, right? This isn't the honor society. So I can buy that one. Guys who are shooting things into their rears, that's a different story. So for me, I think you also have to look at the context. Each one of these situations has a different context.
Yeah, but the way that it's approached to you is, see this lotion? This is level 1. These pills you can take. They're really easy. You just take one of these little white pills a day.
Tough on your liver and pancreas.
Yeah, you didn't know that then. Didn't care, right? This is level 2. Level 3, you want to be in the NFL? Shots in your ass and the things like that big. Okay?
You're getting the horse needle.
You're getting the horse needle. So most retards like me would say, give me that fucking horse needle.
Here we go again with the commentary. Friends call each other retard. We don't use that towards anybody who
I called myself a retard.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Call yourself. It's self-demeaning.
Yeah.
So greatest scandals of all time. We're coming back around.
Back around.
Give me Mount Rushmore.
Lance Armstrong is my Mount Rushmore. That's my number one because I lived it. I watched that shit every night on cable news, all the interviews, watched the Oprah thing, lived it, right? That's my number one. And then we talked about the Black Sox. That's obviously the number 2. FIFA. The FIFA officials.
Oh, yeah, the scam.
Yeah, accepted $150 million in bribes, kickbacks for media, marketing
That's
deals.
a big one. I forgot about that one. That's a huge one.
Because that's huge money.
And it's global because soccer's the world sport.
Yeah. I have that at number 3. The Russian doping program during the 2014 Olympics.
Skaters, weightlifters, gymnasts.
You see all the women? They come out there like this. Every
the whole Russian squad eliminated.
They just said, if you're not going to do drugs, you're not going to be in the Olympics.
That's a good one.
So that's a good one.
I didn't have that one on the list.
I got on here Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan crap, whacking her leg, taking her out,
Amazing. They made movies about it.
And it was her ex-husband that did it. They made
Galooly.
Huh?
Jeff Galooly.
Was it Galooly?
Yeah.
Is that right? I don't have that on.
That was his name. That was his name.
Cripple Harrigan.
But there's one I can't believe you didn't name. Ray Caruth.
Oh, killing them.
Murdered his pregnant wife.
Yeah.
It's got to be the worst thing. Or not his wife, his pregnant girlfriend.
Yeah.
You're
playing in the NFL.
You're playing your first-round pick.
Dude, pay her money.
Fastest player in combine history when he came out.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That one to me is just unbelievable that you could have that life staring ahead of you and you're worried about having to pay for a child.
Yeah.
To me, that's the lowest of all.
It's still
but the Black Sox to me is the biggest one from a notoriety standpoint. The fact that we're still talking about something that happened in 1919.
Yeah.
Whoa. I mean, that's a monumental shift.
Well, they made a movie about it. It was in Boardwalk Empire. You know, I mean,
they've kept it alive.
they've kept
True
it
enough.
alive.
True enough. All right, well, we're going to leave it right there. That is another episode of Goat Quest in the books. Hopefully you join us next time. Follow us on the socials. It's Tom Beer, the former Lion, who's been awarded what? Statue in the porta potty closest to the east entrance
I've been
of Ford
awarded
Field.
nothing.
No, it's a big statue. You're going to see
really?
it. It's made out of the hockey pucks that go in the urinal. It's that material, but nobody gets to urinate on it.
Sounds like maybe you made it.
Yeah, I made it. I did. Okay. I handcrafted it. Okay. So go out there into the world. Don't be like us that are
losers,
that are drinking Diet Cokes.
Diet Cokes.
Go have an adult beverage,
Watching Johnny
or not,
smile.
or not. If you're not of that ilk, if you don't have the discipline for it, feel free to watch us, follow us, and like us, and go out into the world and be the goat at whatever it is that you're doing today.